Ally Kostial was a happy and lively young woman who loved attending the University of Mississippi with a lot of dreams for her future. She had an unmistakable big smile and uplifting personality that left a long-lasting impact on everyone who knew her. But behind the scenes, her relationship with her boyfriend Brandon took a sad turn, leading to her tragic ending. Today, we explore her life and investigate what happened to Ally Kostial. On the campus of the University of Mississippi, Ally Kostial was not only a student, she was a beacon of infectious joy and warmth. Her ability to make everyone around her feel comfortable had earned her a special place in the hearts of those in her community. She had the magical way of spreading happiness, making people smile, and creating a positive atmosphere wherever she went. Growing up, her sweetness was not only confined to her family, it extended into every part of her life. She had an incredible knack for making friends while ensuring those around her felt valued, appreciated, and important. To the students in her middle school, she wasn't only a classmate, she was a friend to all, and her genuine care for others created a supportive environment and a source of comfort for those who needed a friend. This continued on into high school, where she did two things that she loved. She ran track and cheerleading. It was during this time that she found her absolute best friend, Maddie Norris. Their friendship was so incredible that people began calling them sisters. They became inseparable, sharing not only laughter and adventures, but also supporting each other through the ups and downs of high school life. Ally and Maddie were a dynamic duo, always excited about life and ready for something new. They loved trying out different things together and making every moment count. To them, it was more than friendship. They were family. One of their favorite things to do was watch movies, and their ultimate go-to was Legally Blonde. They watched it over and over again, and every time they saw it, they discovered something new to laugh about. When Ally finally got her driver's license, she and Maddie would often take to the open road in Ally's convertible with the top down. They would cruise through the town feeling the wind in their hair and the warm summer air on their skin, and they were so close that when Ally didn't get a date to the high school prom, the pair simply went together. Fast forward to college, where Ally decided she wanted to attend the University of Mississippi. During her time at the university, she naturally found two great friends, Morgan Hull and Elizabeth Brick. The three quickly became close, sharing passions for many things while also getting their education. Ally absolutely loved the college life. Not only was she a student, she became a yoga and Pilates instructor, helping others to stay fit and healthy. She joined the school's golf club and had big dreams of working in the fashion industry once she graduated. This dream would influence her choice to study at the University of Mississippi, and she believed that it was the right place to learn and grow, preparing her for a future in the world of fashion. In addition to gaining an education, she also had hopes of meeting her dream man at this vibrant campus community. She wanted to make meaningful connections and perhaps find someone special to share her life with. And so that leaves the question, how did this sweet girl from St. Louis meet her tragic ending? During the fall semester of 2016, Ally met Brandon Thiesfield, and when they first met, she thought Brandon was cute and immediately developed a crush on him. She wanted to get to know him, so she invited him to many of her sorority functions, and he attended every one of those events, and as time went on, the feelings between them began to grow stronger. Brandon was a well-to-do kid with a typical Christian Texan upbringing. His father was a renowned doctor in Fort Worth, which meant that Brandon enjoyed the privileged life. He loved going hunting, fishing, and in particular enjoyed playing soccer, and he was basically a lover of any activity that involved the outdoors. He was one of those popular guys, part of the cool crowd right from the start, especially with others who were his age. But when it came to girls, it would be a different story. Most girls, once they had gotten to know him, would usually run in the opposite direction. But Ally was different. She seemed to really like him, even though, as her friends and acquaintances would recall, Brandon was not the nicest guy around. They remembered him as someone who was always bragging about his father's money and acting as though he could do whatever he pleased because his father would simply bail him out, and he seemed to have no regards for who he hurt along the way. Others would refer to him as misogynistic, having no value for women, and often taking advantage of them. Another friend remembered how he would pester every girl that he met in the dorms. He'd hang out with them, get what he wanted, and then move on to the next one. But Ally was really into Brandon, and at the beginning of their relationship, she thought they were exclusive and officially dating. At first, Ally called Brandon just a crush, but it became clear that their connection was much more than that. Like every other relationship, they had their ups and downs. Some would describe them as a couple deeply in love, while others noted that they fought a lot and that there was a lot of tension between them. In one instance, Ally had spent a lot of time gushing about her relationship with Brandon, so her friend Maddie was eager to meet him. Unfortunately, she never got the opportunity because Brandon just simply would not show up, and this became his regular behavior with the things that were important to Ally. Ally shared a strong bond with her parents, and one special day they came to visit her at college. She couldn't have been happier about it. During their visit, Ally and her mother did things like go shopping, tour the campus, meet friends, and see how Ally was living her life. On the day her parents were supposed to go back to St. Louis, she really wanted them to stay for just one more day. She wished that they could experience Oxford, and she wanted to show them all of her favorite places and share the things that made college so special to her. She had a passion for life that she infused to every aspect of what she did. And so her parents stayed one more day and then left back for home the next morning. On the evening her parents arrived home, Ally's mother gave her a call. She answered, feeling a bit sleepy after having woken up from a nap. She shared that she was okay and had plans to go somewhere with her friends later in the evening. They spoke for only a short time on the phone before finally ending the call. But little did her mother know, that moment would be the last time she would ever hear Ally's voice again. On July the 20th of 2019, a police officer from the Lafayette County Sheriff's Department was on patrol around Sardis Lake, a large and calm water area surrounded by trees and nature, located only 30 minutes from campus. On sunny days, it would not be uncommon to find a family relaxing by the water's edge with their picnic blankets and snacks. And as the officer drove around the lake, he noticed something unusual near a picnic table. As he further investigated, the sight before him would shock him to his core. Lying on the ground only a few feet away was the dead body of a young woman who had several gunshots in her back. Immediately, the officer sprung into action, calling to the station and asking for backup. Before long, several officers were on the scene conducting an investigation, and during that time, they discovered a purse in a ditch nearby. Inside of it would be a wallet, and upon investigating it, they realized that it contained an ID from the University of Mississippi and a driver's license, which belonged to Ally Kostial. Then, in the middle of the night, the phone rang, and Ally's mother answered, where she encountered the voice of a police officer informing her that they had found the dead body of her daughter. Everyone would be shocked by the information about Ally's death and discovering that she had been killed, and her absence would immediately leave a void in everyone's hearts. Overwhelmed by grief and fueled by a deep sense of loss, the friends then turned to social media as a way to channel their emotions while seeking justice for their beloved friend. And that's when they began an amazing online movement. Together, Morgan and Elizabeth had crafted the hashtag Justice for Ally. It became a rallying cry that would echo across social media platforms. Their intention would be clear: to shed light on the brutal nature of her murder and demand accountability for the senseless action that had stolen such a vibrant life from them. This would become a gathering place for friends, family, and even strangers who were moved by Ally's story, each one of them using the hashtag to add momentum to the plea for justice. Shared memories, heartfelt messages, and calls for thorough investigations would flood social media. One person who would discover this movement was Basandra Kendrick, a recent graduate of the University of Mississippi. Basandra had worked in the student housing department and spoke fondly about Ally's warmth and vibrant personality, recalling Ally's incredibly positive outlook on life. She emphasized how Ally's presence was like a ray of sunshine amongst the dark clouds, brightening everyone's day. And according to her, no matter what the challenge was, Ally would approach every day with a cheerful demeanor. She had first met Ally when she was working as a community desk assistant in the largest residence hall on campus. And what began as simple casual greetings would soon blossom into a genuine friendship. Every time that Cassandra would be at the desk, she could count on Ally to brighten her day with a friendly hello and an amazing smile. It became a rather comforting routine for Cassandra, and she began to look forward to seeing Ally each and every time. Whether it was a quick chat or a shared laugh, the moments became cherished highlights for her in her life. Ally's ability to uplift others through simple and genuine interaction had showed the true essence of her character. Another old friend from high school by the name of Ally Kostial had posted on Facebook expressing her heartfelt condolences for the loss of her friend, describing Ally as the most genuine and uplifting person that she had ever known. She reminisced about the high school days, when Ally was a beacon of positivity in everyone's lives, describing her as the most genuine and uplifting person she had ever known. She expressed how being part of the cheerleading squad with Ally was not only an activity, but also an honor. The connection that they shared for cheering and games and practices for the school had created long-lasting memories that she held close to her heart. The tributes and the words of condolence would go on and on and on from everyone who knew Ally Kostial. Everyone had something nice to say, everyone had a memory, and everyone had a deep hole in their heart now that she was gone. At the crime scene at Sardis Lake, where Ally's body was found, investigators found many items. There were cans of White Claw seltzer and shell casings on the ground, and a ballistics expert would later report that the person who had shot Ally was actually sitting across from her at the picnic table. Both of them were sitting down, but upon firing the first shot, the person then got up and went around the table, firing several shots more. Investigators combed through Ally's belongings, her dorm room, and her home, looking for clues into who took her life. Her phone had come up missing, but during their search they found her Apple Watch. They discovered several messages from the night that her life was taken, and had to use their skills to put the pieces together and understand the story of that terrible night. These messages on the Apple Watch would be like puzzle pieces, giving them a small glimpse into what occurred. As they dug into the messages between Ally and Brandon, they found out that they had been talking quite a lot. It suggested that the two had plans to meet up. The detective working the case decided to talk to Brandon early on Sunday, July the 21st, the day after her life had been taken. The detective wanted more information about Ally and their relationship, and so he asked Brandon to come to the station for an interview. Brandon would dodge this invite, saying that he couldn't make it, but suggested a meeting the next morning. However, when the morning came, Brandon did not show up to the interview. Police would immediately become suspicious. Brandon had missed the scheduled interview, and they began to track his cell phone to figure out where he was. And the data from his phone showed that he was on the interstate, heading away from Oxford and towards Memphis, Tennessee. To the police, it would seem as though Brandon was trying to run away, and so that's when they issued an arrest warrant. A bolo was then placed to keep an eye out for his truck. It had a special license plate which made it easy to recognize. 2 hours after sending out the notice, a special task force in Memphis had found the vehicle at a gas station, and Brandon was nearby. The task force agents arrested Brandon and then informed the police in Mississippi. Upon searching his truck, they found a .40 caliber gun. But that's not all. When Brandon got out of the vehicle, there was also blood on his clothing. And after he was taken into custody and brought back to Mississippi, detectives began to look into his actions on the night of Ally's death. They found that Brandon had been with friends and then went bowling. But the next day, he went to a friend's house with a 6-pack of beer and his weapon. He and his friend talked for a bit, but then when his friend woke up the next morning, Brandon was gone. In the midst of this investigation, police learned many things about Brandon. He had never gotten into any fights, and he did not have a history of being violent. Police would interview Ally and Brandon's friends, and they discovered that the pair had met at a local bar during their freshman year and then began to casually date. According to their friends, things had changed during the sophomore year. Ally's loved ones noted that she seemed more interested in the relationship than Brandon did, and the differences in what they liked and enjoyed had caused friction between them, and due to this friction, they then put the relationship on pause for a year, deciding to take it back up and give it another try afterwards. On April the 14th of 2019, just 3 months prior to Ally's death, She sent Brandon a picture of a home pregnancy test. The test would be inclusive, with the results not clear. The couple spoke about the possibilities of her being pregnant, and Brandon made it clear that he did not want the child. Ally, however, was not so sure about the situation and spoke about perhaps finding a man who could love both her and the baby. This would make Brandon angry, and he said that a child would ruin his life. Officers would find CCTV footage of Ally leaving a bar on the night of her death. At around 11:45 p.m., she can be seen leaving alone. About an hour, at around 1:30 a.m., she met up with Brandon, and the pair drove to Sardis Lake. Apparently, the couple had both been drinking that day, and detectives say that at one point, Brandon got up to go to his truck to do some drugs. After a short time, he would retrieve his .40 caliber weapon, claiming that he had heard gunshots on the other side of the lake. After that, the couple would sit at the table and talk for some more, but then suddenly, detectives say that Brandon shot her. Brandon's lawyers would claim that he did this because he was high on drugs and drunk on alcohol. And despite how well the lawyer presented the case, detectives, along with Ally's family, saw it differently. They proposed that Brandon had taken Ally's life because he believed that she might be pregnant, and that was going to cause problems for him. In their eyes, he had planned and thought about the entire thing in a cold and calculated way. On August the 27th of 2021, Brandon agreed to a plea deal from the state. It meant that he would not face the death penalty, and at that point, the case had gone viral. The legal process was now in full sway, and the community awaited the outcome, hoping that they would see justice for Ally and find answers to the questions that surrounded her tragic ending. The decision to remove the death penalty from the case had raised debates about punishment and consequence, making it a complex situation for everyone who was involved. In the end, Brandon agreed to plead guilty to first-degree murder, and the judge said that he would spend his entire life in prison without the chance of parole. Ally's friends and family came to the courtroom to support her. They all wore pink, which was her favorite color, and the color had also reminded her of sunsets. Once the judge had handed down his decision, he gave Brandon the option to say some words.
There's no excuse for my actions. I have asked God for forgiveness. And I hope one day that you will find it in your heart to forgive me.
During his time behind bars, authorities came across a handwritten note that was intended for his parents. And in the note, he had expressed deep remorse for his actions and the pain that he had caused for everyone. He also disclosed that he had been struggling with dark thoughts, which had led him to committing the regrettable crime. Later, Ally's autopsy report would be revealed, and it showed that she was actually not pregnant when Brandon took her life. And although the reports are inconclusive, Ally's mother believes that she was pregnant and had simply lost the baby. In the aftermath of the court case and the decision, Ally's friends and family would come together to create a memorial to hold on to the memories that they had cherished about their friend, daughter, and loved one. They created it at the place at Sardis Lake where she had lost her life. Her parents hold on to the memories of their daughter, finding it challenging to cope with her absence, especially when they visit the place where her life was taken away from them. The memories have become like a silent echo, a reminder of the joyous times that they shared, which were abruptly cut short. And every time that one of Ally's friends sees a pink sunset, their thoughts will automatically turn to her. Sunsets were more than just a part of nature for her, they were a personal fascination, and she loved the colors, the calmness, and the beauty of the evening sky. For her friends, seeing that pink sunset became a special moment of remembrance each and every time. The life of Ally Kostial was vibrant and beautiful, and it's a painful reality for her loved ones to struggle each and every day knowing that it's gone. She was known for being sweet, someone who radiated positivity and warmth along with love, and is remembered for her infectious laughter, the way she could light up a room with her smile, and the genuine kindness and love that she extended to everyone around her. These days, Ally's family and friends try to bring light to the world by remembering the good times and also who she was as a person. They've made it their mission to make sure that she's never forgotten, finding ways to spread the same warmth and love that she had brought into the world to everyone else. But what are your thoughts about this case? Do you believe the investigation could have been handled differently? Tell me your thoughts in the comments section down below. If there's a case you'd like us to cover, feel free to drop your suggestions. And also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more captivating true crime stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.